Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. We are here in Rock Springs, Wyoming, carrying on our tour of the U.S. capital cities. This isn't the capital, but it is a stopping off place where we ended up last time. Today we're going to leave Wyoming and head into the great state of Idaho. We're on our way to Boise. Once again, flying the de Havilland Canada Dash-7. So let's get on board, and we'll start getting everything set up and ready to go. There we go. Alright, so just so everyone can see, the weight and balance has to be done through the chart here. I usually do this beforehand, but I thought I'd show you. It is a little finicky, and I am forced to do a little bit of creative moving things around. So if you are flying this and you're having an issue with weight and balance, this is kind of the way I do it. So our fuel for today is going to be 3357 kilograms. So we're going to bring the fuel up to 3357 or the next one above it. So at 85%, we're at 3377. So 20 kilograms more fuel. That is fine. We're now going to bring the payload up to our payload. We're looking at a max takeoff weight, so we want to be at 19,958. So there's 19,961. Okay, 3 kilograms over, still under the absolute max. But the problem is, you can see we're out of balance. So the way to move that is move some of this weight up and forward. So what I'm going to do is, in the first passenger section, we're going to take the luggage weight here and move that forward. So that's the same amount, so we're just going to double it to 2664. So we're going to delete all of that, go 2664, delete the 0. That's going to put it out of balance, but we are going to come in here and delete all of that, and we should be able to get it to 0 out. So we add a 0, we hit enter, it moves everything up and forward. You can see we're now within balance and our weights are correct and everything is looking good. And that's the only way you can set your weight and balance inside the aircraft. But with that done, we can carry on with the rest of what we have to do. So cockpit pre-safety check. We have parking brakes are set, throttle levers are currently in flight idle. I didn't want those to move. They stay down in fuel cutoff. There we go. Control lock is now in place. Condition levers are in fuel shutoff. Flaps are up and reading up. We'll pop up top. Batteries left and right are off, and main battery is off. Wipers are off. We'll turn the warm up off as well. And the circuit breaker is popping down. We can take a quick look behind and overhead, and all the circuit breakers are checked and looking good. All right, with that done, we can start bringing on the passengers, and we'll get them loading in. The door is open in the back, and that is all good. So working our way through getting the aircraft ready to go. Battery comes on, AC generators, DC generators are on. Left and right batteries will now come on, along with DC external power, and that's providing power to the aircraft. Bus tie will go to the closed position. DC generators 1 to 4 are off. We're going to pop up one more and come up to the flight data recorder, which is normal, ELT to auto, and our lights. We'll get them turned around to give ourselves a little bit of panel light, what would you call that, contrast, as you can see there. And we'll pop down here, get these ones as well, and over on Roger's side. And that is all of them. So back up top, fuel T-handles are all pushed in. Fire and smoke warning test is completed. Windshield heat and wipers, which come down here, are off and off. Ice control, airframe de-ice is off. Pitot-static heaters are off. Propeller de-ice is off. Battery temperatures are fine. We can hit test. We can see them rise and go down. So that is working good. Position light is now on. Ignitions 1 to 4 are all in normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps 1 to 4 are off. Fuel transfer is off and the tanks are closed. Fuel quantity is checked and correct. We're fueled up before we left. Engine start is off. Engine start selector is off. Cabin pressure is all set to auto. And it says auto, auto, and set. We want to be 8,000 when we're at cruise, so that is good there. Popping over to the right side of the panel, our AC external power is off. Left bus is inverter is set. Generators 1 to 4 on the AC side are off. Engine bleeds 1 to 4 are off. Temperature controls are in auto. We'll turn on the seat belts and no smoking, and we will arm the emergency exit lights. Carrying on, our check clocks are good and accurate. Our flight taxi switch is in taxi. GPWS is checked. Yaw damper is normal and guarded. Flight directors will test. They come on both sides, and we'll go back to standby. Landing and taxi lights are all off. PFCS primary flight control display shutoffs are lights off, which is normal. Autopilot is set to captain's side. Caution and advisory lights. We can do our test. There's our caution lights. They all come up, and our advisory lights are good as well. Synchro phase is off, and anti-skid is now on. Down here, we would check our steering and go through all our tests over here. That is all good. We come over to the center console now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Altitude preset is going to be 16,000 feet for today's flight.
Be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead
Hi, Chris. No, I have not. I
was
about to update, and somebody left a comment actually in my last flight, and I've decided to hold off until the next update. So I'm on 1.4 whatever this is. 49, 48.
Please double check
16,000 feet is set, and we have 48 passengers on board today, as we are a fully loaded flight. Propeller auto feather is off. Engine intake deflectors are all retracted. Landing gear mute horn is tested and good. Pitch and roll disconnect handles are pushed in and locked. Weather radar is off. Transponder, we do have a code for the transponder. They have asked us to squawk 4346. So we will dial that in. It's 4346. That is now set. And we are in the off position, which is fine. It doesn't do standby. Flight instruments are all checked and set. Roll spoiler switch is good. That's over here on the FO side. And avionics cooling is in auto. So parking brake is set. Fuel levers are in flight idle. Fuel control switches are the condition levers are in cutoff. Flaps are in agreement. And flight idle gate is closed. And the light is on. Autopilot yaw dampers are off. And trims, yeah, it might have been you that mentioned it last time, but I did hear about that, so I'm kind of like, we'll wait on that one. I'm gonna go roll back slightly more, bring it down to the bottom end for takeoff there, and we'll see how that works. So we're all good there, and we are good to go. We're just going to wait for everyone to get on board. ATC was up. They're offline now, so we're not going to have ATC, but we'll do all the calls. We'll show you where we are and where we're headed. So let me bring up the the map. And we'll bring it up here. So we're down here in Rock Springs, kind of over in this corner. Salt Lake City is down over here in Utah. So we're going to be flying up to the west over the mountains, as you can see, over this low area, crossing into Idaho, and then flying up here to Boise. It's going to be straight out on runway 27 and kind of straight in on runway 28, given the winds currently here in the U.S. Midwest. And as mentioned, we are flying today at 16,000 feet. We got 347 nautical miles to go, 48 passengers, and we are going to be departing at our maximum takeoff weight.
We are ready to go when you are.
All right, they're ready in the back, so we're going to come around to the back. We'll get that door closed. No, I know it's not quite there yet, but I'd like it for variety.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen,
I like it for these shorter flights. It still adds up to a couple hours of flying time on the streams, but we're down a little bit lower, see the ground a bit more, and it's something else. And like I mentioned when we first started flying, I'd actually worked on these airplanes out of high school when I worked for a small regional airline, so it's kind of fun to be playing around with it. Alright, so takeoff data and speeds, we're going to be we have a rotation speed of 88 knots, a V2 of 92, and a V climb minimum, as they put it in there, as about 107. But we're going to rotate at about 90 and let her come up. So doors and windows are all closed. Anti-collision light will go to red. Parking brake is set. Power leader, it's again flight idle. Condition levers are all off. DC generators will pop up to now, and we'll turn them all. Come on. There we go. Turn them all on. Well, hopefully all these aircraft will be transferable up to 2024, so it would be nice that that can be done. I know most of them said that they will be movable, so there may be an update that brings them in line and everything, but it'll just be an update, and we won't have to buy all these aircraft again. At least I hope so. I am going to Flight Sim Expo in June and hoping to get a good look at FS 2024, so I'll be able to report back some of what I hear about it and what I see. Alright, so we're not pushing back. We're going to taxi straight out as we are clear out of the terminal area, moving straight forward. So we're going to get ready to go. Engine start order 3421. So we're going to select engine number 3 and hit start. Clear 3. There she is, starting to rotate. And 3 is up into the green. We'll add fuel. There she is coming online.
Gentlemen, please direct your attention to the flight attendants for
Never actually flew in the Dash-7. A lot of time in the Dash-8s. The various models, the 100s, 300s, and the Q4s. But never actually got a chance to fly in the 7, although I did a lot of work on them. Alright, we're up through 70%. Starter is off. We'll switch over to engine 4, clear 4.
In case of an emergency and we need to evacuate the aircraft, there is lighting on the floor that will guide you towards the exit. In the event that...
There's 4 starting. I do like the animation. They've got multiple layers for the props as they spin up, so... Oh yeah, and some of the planes here in FS 2020 are port overs from FSX. They haven't been updated beyond what's required to get them working in the sim, so there's been a few of those. And And then there's been guys like, what is it, Captain Sim, that have just taken the A320 default and slapped a whatever body on top of it and gone, oh, look at this. Buyer beware. Alright, so that is engine 4 up.
Please securely stow all personal items.
And clear
Make
2.
sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are all in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight, and that includes vaping.
We have rotation on
Tampering
2.
with, disabling, or destroying the smoke
Adding
detectors
fuel.
located in the lavatories is strictly prohibited by law.
Now the
All
engine
of this
starts, we gotta wait until our NG
information
comes
found
up
in
to
the
70 or up
located
into the
in
green
back
arc
in
before
front
we
of
move
you.
on.
We suggest reading this and let us know if you have any questions.
Just
Thank you
watch
for
it
flying
there.
with us, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
I mean, it's nice they're doing updates to this thing, and they've been pretty good with it. So it's good to see it coming together, and that they haven't just put it out and left it. Like, I mean, what was it? One aircraft I love flying was the Boeing 247D, that early airliner from the very early 30s. But they just abandoned it after release it. You didn't even have engine starting sounds on the right side engine, which was very annoying. I think that company actually went out of business. I haven't seen anything from them. And over to engine 1, clear 1. Right, we're into the green. As we wait for that engine to come up, we'll just grab the current ATIS here at Rock Springs. So it's minus half a degree Celsius. Winds are 290.11. We're going to use runway 27. 10 miles of visibility. We have an 8,000 foot ceiling. Baro is 2989er. Let me get rid of the stick. 2989. And I will put it in for Roger. 2989er is set. We're well up into the green. Starter will come off and the engine start selector off as well. So that then we'll do our after start checks. Parking brake is still set. Start selector is off. Engine select is off. DC external power is now off. DC generators are all up and running and load is good. Battery temps are fine. AC generators coming online and battery temps will come back down into normal. As you can see, they're dropping already. Engine bleeds are going into low. Flight directors are on. Our PFCS is reading clear and normal. Auto feather is still green. Engine intake deflectors are all retracted. Engine instruments are all checked, and everything is looking good and balanced. Hydraulic quantities and pressures are checked. Flaps set for takeoff 15 degrees. Control lock is off. Flight controls full back, full forward, full right, full left, and rudders are working good. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. Yaw damper will come on. De-ice pressure is good. Ground instruments and chocks. We are clear and everything has been removed. And condition levers. We are going to move engines 1 and 4 up into low. Leave the other ones back, and that will give me my power for taxi. Taxi light is now on.
We're prepared for takeoff.
Cabin is ready. So the CTAF frequency here for Rock Springs is actually a 122.8. So we're going to come down to the radios. There's 122.8 is set. And we are good there. There's currently no ATC up, so we're not going to have to worry about that. Rock Springs area traffic. Allegheny 32 taxiing from the terminal to runway 27 via Alpha 2 Alpha holding short Alpha 6. Alright, brakes are released. And here we go. Oh, let me get the chart off. So we're going to be making a left turn here, heading down towards runway 27. It's the far end, so it's going to take us a second to get down there. So we're going to be passing north of Salt Lake City and basically flying in a northwesterly heading. We'll pick up the VORs on the way out and get them all set up as well. So over here we're going to go to get the DME on there and the DME on there. You're going to go on to 2, you're going to go on to 1. Yeah, there's a couple that the ATR is the same way. It tends to get away from you as well. Found that when we did the tour of Japan with it. First frequency we're going to want as we taxi out, we're going to pull up our radio log. So the OCS VOR is the one we're going to be flying outbound on. That's frequency 116. So we're going to come in here and set 116. Hopefully not run off the runway while I'm doing this. Yeah, that's 116. There we go. And we're going to want a heading of 273 degrees. All right, runway heading for our departure is going to be faster to do this way. 270. Do a quick check on that. It is. Second frequency we're going to want is 117.4. So get that one dialed in. That is the next VOR. Put that over here in Nav 2, they're 117.4, and after that is the BYI, or Bravo Yankee India VOR of 1141. And that is now set over there. And we will turn these over to VOR mode instead of ADF mode. We are good there on the nav. So we're basically going to be flying outbound on the runway heading, and then we're going to turn slightly north and fly in to intercept the VOR path. We just got to watch the terrain, as we do have terrain around here. And we got some 13,000 foot minimum safe altitudes we got to keep in mind as well. All right. First Officer Molly is guarding the door. May hear her. And she gets a little bit vocal when people pass by my door out into the hallway. Alright, brakes are set. So, up top. There we go. Windshield heat to warm up. Pedostatic is all on. Engine bleeds are set to low. Ignitions are all set to normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps are all on. Flight taxi spoiler switch is now in flight. Auto feather check cell green. Engine mode deflectors are all, or engine mode deflectors. Engine intake deflectors are all retracted. Control lock is off. Condition levers, max RPM is set. Flaps 15 is checked. Flight controls checked. Elevator trim is checked for takeoff. Caution lights are checked. Cabin is ready. Rock Springs area traffic. Allegheny 32 taking position, runway 27. All right. Gonna move out now. Take up position. Approach path is clear. Now we are at like a 6,800 foot altitude, so that is going to increase our takeoff roll. There we go. Get ourselves turn and heading outwards. All right, brakes are set. Transponder we'll make sure is on. Make sure she's on mode C. Weather radar is not required. Landing lights are now on. Caution light, or the anti-collision light, will now go to white. Strobes are on, and we are ready to go. Alright, so we're going to bring the engines up to 3,200. We should see the auto feather arm come on. Ground spoilers have closed. Auto feather arm is on. Power lever's coming up to 4,800, or as close as I can get. Won't get all the way up there with the altitude, about 43, 44. There we go. And we are good to go. Rock Springs area traffic, Allegheny 32 departing runway 27 to the west. Brakes released. Airspeed's live. Winds are pretty much straight down the runway here. 60 knots. I'm going to start to put in some back pressure at 90. Just 90 knots. Easing back. That's the idle gate closing. And we have positive rate. Gear up. It's going to be a slow climb as we climb out here, as we are dealing with the high altitude already. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to turn the autopilot on, and we're going to go right into heading and airspeed. Use that to start building up a little bit of altitude. So climb power, we're going to set .400 feet above, flaps coming up. So we want a cruise speed of about 125, which is kind of where we're hovering around at the moment. I am going to turn my heading slightly this way so we can do an intercept on that path. Alright, we're going to bring the power levers back to 3,500 now. There we go, and we're going to bring the props down to 107. There we go. And we'll bring the power levers back up down to 4,400 for our climb power. So somewhere about there. I'm going to come off of the indicated airspeed, push the nose down slightly, and get the speed up to about 130, 135-ish. There we go. And indicated airspeed there. We'll let her settle into the climb at that speed. So climb power is set, landing gear is confirmed up, flaps are confirmed up, auto feather, that'll come off eventually. Engine intake deflectors are all retracted, flight idle gate is in and light is out. Taxi light will now come off. Auxiliary fuel pumps will come off. We're almost to the line. Engine bleeds are all set to low. Cabin is fine. It should be pressurizing. I don't know why it doesn't. I guess it's not modeled. We're not going above 18,000, so altimeters will stay where they are. Intercept on that line. Just come in at a slight angle to pick it up. Beautiful terrain out there. Coming up on 10,000 feet. Is 10,000 feet, so we're going to release the passengers in the back. It's pretty calm. Turn off the landing lights. And we're going to keep climbing out. For our cruise today, we're going to be at 16,000 feet. We're going to go for intermediate cruise, so we're going to want 370 pounds per hour on the fuel. Once we get up to,
ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet.
Our cruise
turn on
altitude.
larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the
it's
flight.
pretty close.
Do not form a line
Switch over to nav
afterwards.
mode now. We'll pick up the radio. Make that slow turn. About 5,500 feet to go. So we should see when this thick arrow flicks over and we see the information pop in here. That'll be the second VOR that we'll be pulling in. It is a bit of a haul to get to the Malad City VOR, which is the next one. So we might not pick it up until we're somewhere around Garden City, about the halfway point on this leg. See if Salt Lake Center comes back up. They cover this whole area. They were online for quite a while. Again, we'll see if they come back. Do love the landscapes and the way they change. Looks pretty awesome. I got another one here. Yeah, that's the gear view. That's the cabin. One class, obviously. And there's the stairs. We're going to click Alt Cell, so it's going to capture our selected altitude. Select it in here. And that'll be for when we reach 16,000 feet, and we got about 3,300 feet to go. Lovely views out here over the central Midwest. It's looking phenomenal. Sure if we're going to see the Great Salt Lake. It's currently off in this direction. We'll be flying to the north of it, but we may be too far north to actually be able to see it. 2,000 feet to go, and we'll be able to set our cruise power. Current ground speed of 158 knots. We are flying westward, so we're sort of into the wind at the moment. (1,500 feet to go. And we are 32 miles out from the OCS VOR. There's the switch, so we've just picked up the MLD VOR. We'll give it a few minutes to stabilize and get a little bit stronger, but we'll look over on Roger's side here. See, we're 148 miles away from it. .1,000 feet to go, and then we'll level off at 16,000 for the cruise portion of today's flight. So our block time today was, well, it's saying 2 hours. Airtime an hour and a half. I'm not sure about that. 347, well, maybe. we can get 200 knots. Don't know what we're gonna get with the winds though. Climbing at about 425 feet per minute. Maintaining that 135 knot climb speed. I found on autopilot when you get below 120, she starts to wallow. If you turn the autopilot off, she stops that action, so I'm not sure exactly why it does that. Interesting, these aren't matching. I just clicked, it was 200 feet or 20 feet short, and I clicked over. Anyway, we're in capture mode, so we're going to be capturing our 16,000 foot altitude. Our climb angle is coming down, our airspeed will start to increase. And then once we're level, we'll set cruise power. And we will get ourselves all settled in. So we're pretty much level now. This is all starting to get together. It's not lagging anymore. So we're going to set our cruise power. And to do that, we are going to set our RPMs to 107, which they are. And then we're going to use the fuel tables to set. And as mentioned, given we're at 16,000 feet, we're going to be flying at an intermediate cruise. We want 370 pounds per hour. So if we come down to the fuel gauge, as you can see, we're just over 400 pounds now. So pulling back onto power. We want to bring it between the 6 and the 8 notch.
In a few moments, our lovely flight attendants
There we
will
go.
be starting our in-flight
Cruise
service.
power is
we'll be
now
serving
set.
complimentary drinks and snacks. Premium drinks are available for a small
And
charge.
we're almost up to
Please note, we only
190
accept credit cards.
knots ground speed. The aircraft will settle in. And we will be good. So we're going to now fly inbound to the next VOR, Mallet City on 117.4. So we're going to switch over. There we go, and you can see we're slightly off. So we're going to just adjust that until we're flying in on the radial. There we go. And we'll hit nav again. The aircraft will turn, and we'll pick that up. And keep us heading in. So we're going to set the next frequency in, which is going to be the 114.1. That is now set. That is the BYI VOR, and we're going to switch that one into here. And we're then going to bring in the Boise, which is 113.3. That will be a while before we hit that one. That is 2 down the road, basically, but there we go. We'll just dial that around so it's kind of facing the way we're headed. Distance between the MLD and the BYI is about 70 miles or so. It's okay. We're starting to come around and lining ourselves up. We got 131 miles to go, and we're doing 190 knots. got up to 197, so we're kind of stabilized now. Picked up a little bit of speed. So that's us cruising along. I think we'll just get some background tunes going here. Since, as you can see in the aircraft, there is no seatback entertainment. So Booker Magazine, and that's your lot back then. And we got the views, of course. Let's see what I can get music-wise going. Since where I am, it's like 19 degrees and it's ridiculously warm and sunny out. We're going to do a little bit of pools and beach club music today. So hope you enjoy. In honor of the abnormally warm day we have here. Peaks out here. And we do have a ridge of higher hills and mountains we have to go over there, and then there's a few others we'll see. Where else we gotta, when we're coming into land in Idaho, we're gonna have some off to our right. Should be interesting to see. Nice visual. We're on Vatsim. There is traffic in the area. Not seeing it. There's some stuff out this way coming out of Salt Lake City, which is pretty much off in this direction, but it's too far away to see. of a couple things there. Still tracking inbound, 91 miles to go to the MLD VOR, I think. Yeah, it's the longest leg we have. We have another one after the BYI. It's 117 miles out to the Boise VOR, which is kind of at the airfield. We'll be starting our descent at around 50 miles out. We're looking at an airport elevation at Boise of, what do we got? Almost 2,900 feet. So not too bad. It drops down quite a bit. So that'll be good. Current weather out of Boise is, it's pretty gusty, 17 to 31 from 310. So we're going to stick with runway 28. Runway 28 right. It's a 10,000 foot runway. Bit of an overcast ceiling at 6,500 feet. Let's see how it goes. Looks like we're going to be running into some cloud. What's the outside air temperature? Minus 22 degrees. Keep an eye out for icing. So we're going to be doing the ILS for runway 28 right. Right in along the edge of the mountains, so we should be okay. It's busy down in Salt Lake City right now. A bunch of aircraft around. And a couple that are heading out to Boise as well. We should see them around. Frequency here at Boise. Probably tower. Frequencies available. Late coming up, and then some of the hills. We can see some of the clouds forming due to the hills, so we're going to be into the weather in a minute. And we're 75 miles out now. Weather check, see what reports for icing conditions. Yeah, there's no icing conditions reported, so I think we'll be okay. It's like a little bit of rain we're going to be passing through on the way, but other than that, not looking too bad. Salt Lake City's off in this direction. Great Salt Lake, or whatever it's called, is kind of under the clouds. You can't see it. Sits over there. We're chugging along nicely. Brooks 200 knot ground speed. Fuel is looking good. Everything is looking good in the back. And all the instruments are looking good as well. I'm going to take a minute and go give Molly a little treat, and then I will be right back. So we got the cabin cockpit view here. No point going outside. We'll just leave you with that, with the music going, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Take a couple
I'm back, but I'm probably gonna have to take Molly out for a little break outside shortly. Turn it down a little bit. There we go. We're skimming through the clouds over the top of the mountains here. Some of the higher points we're gonna pass. Everything is looking good. And unfortunately, slower aircraft takes a little while to get to the different places. But I am enjoying it. It's a nice challenge, something different. And it keeps us busy. As I mentioned earlier, I will be going to Flight Sim Expo this year. The main reason is to get a look at FS 2024, see what they are saying about it and what they have there, and see what the improvements are, so I can kind of report back on it for you guys. Once we reach the Mall of the City VOR, we're going to turn slightly more northwards out to the, let's see what that stands for, the BYI VOR, Burley VOR, and then from there it's about 118 mile straight shot. We're going to start sending about 55 miles out, or maybe 60 miles, we'll go 60 miles out, since it is down in a valley a lot lower than we've been landing, about 4,000 feet lower than we've been landing the last couple. So we're going to need that extra time and space to get ourselves down to where we got to be. So we're 30 miles out from the VOR. You can see on the DME down here. Still no HEC up, which is a shame. I'd like to give them something a little different. No RNAV waypoints and stuff like that in this airplane. .79 will be the next heading. So we're almost due north of Salt Lake City, and again you can't see it because it's under the clouds. Here's some of the hills and stuff. Never been to Utah. The Utah, Colorado mountainous area. Apparently it looks, well, it does look fantastic. Do have to get out there at some point. Still managing to touch 200 knots on our ground speed, so we're not doing too bad. This is local time. Looking for a stopwatch or a timer or something, but there doesn't seem to be one. I guess back in the day they'd just be using their normal watches. more greenery and scrub on the mountains than I thought there would be. 17 miles to go. 279 will be the heading. What we're going to do is dial in on our heading select for that. And at 10 miles we'll switch over. And we will pick up on the 279 radial and fly out on that. We're not picking up the next VOR yet, which is the 114, and it's still not coming in. Currently a TBM 9 landing. There's a Delta Airlines 737 flew in from Salt Lake City. It's about 100 miles out from Boise, and then there's us cruising along. Slightly on the fuel burn. Ease that back ever so slightly. Okay, so there's 10 miles. We're going to go into heading select now. Follow this heading in. We're going to set 279 as our radial. And then when that closes in, we'll switch over to capture mode and we'll fly outbound on the 279. Are kind of off to our left. Not too strong, but we got a little bit of a headwind. Miles out from the VOR. Should start to see the needle swing, and we will turn to match. Then once we come out the other side and get back on the radio, we'll let her take us in. Starting to see the VOR needle swing now. That means we're coming up over top. When that goes dead, we're right above it. Since it does not, there it goes, it went dead. Since it does not transmit straight up, we'll make the turn. TBM's down. There it is, coming back out the other side. edge over, pick it up, and we're on our way. Pretty close. Switch back over to nav, let it figure itself out. And we're waiting for the VOR2, the 1141 to come in. So if we take a look at the VOR on Navigraph, it is a low altitude, low power, so we might not get it until we're about 30 miles out, which is just over halfway there. But we're tracking out on the one we just flew over, so that's good enough. And we know we can pick that up about 130 miles out, so we could actually fly that VOR all the way to the next one. adjust our heading so that when we have to switch over, we can just click on and we won't turn left or right, and then we can redial in once we get the new VOR in and set. Should keep us good and ready to go. Got 170 miles to go, just about halfway. like that Delta Airlines flight is about to land. And the big thing to remember about ground speed indicators, such as the DME here, is it's only accurate if you're flying directly to or directly from a VOR. If you're in any type of flying across, waiting to intercept or anything like that, or you just tuned it for reference, it will not show the same ground speed, because it is your speed in relation to the VOR itself. So if you're flying anything less than directly to or from, it's going to be a component of that with the angle down there. I can show that if we tune in the, let's see, we'll find another VOR here. There's not another one close enough. We're in a pretty sparse area. So just wait for the next VOR to come in, and then we'll set up the flight inbound to it. She actually just flicked over. So let's go back in here, and we can come down and set up. So we have ourselves locked in on our heading. We'll just make a little correction to that and get it more centered. We'll switch over to heading mode. We're going to switch our VORs over, so 1141. You can see they're now both pointing 1 and 2. We're going to tune in the Boise, Idaho over on Roger's side, and that is a 1133. There you go, and that will stay there for the rest of the flight. And we will put 1133 in here, and our standby for nav 1. So that's set up. We're 43 miles out. We can now come in here, and we're going to turn this until we get the radial that we're currently crossing. And with that now on, we're going to hit nav, and we'll turn and follow it. And you can see our airspeed's dropped to 194. Once we're flying in towards it, that should go back up to about 200 again. We'll just watch that come in, and we're now tracking inbound towards that VOR. As we roll out, may go down actually because of the winds. We'll see. Let the aircraft settle in. It's actually dropping. But what I said is right. It doesn't help when you're starting to fly more into the wind. There we are, settling in. 39 miles to go. We got 60 miles out of Boise. We're going to start down, and the VOR is actually on this side of the airfield just before it, so that'll be a good indicator for us when we get 60 miles how close we actually are. It's instead of it being like 3 miles out, 5 miles out the other side. We have been dealing with a little bit of wind, which has slowed us down. We're looking good. We'll dial that back over and center that up on our current heading. Now count down those 35 miles. Alright, 20 miles away. And this is the last VOR before we turn towards the airfield. Joys of fancy. So we're coming into the VOR. Let me just remind you, if you like what I do, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps the channel, helps promote us, and get more attention. Like the video, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Any questions you have, I'll try to answer about the flights, what we do, where we go, or the aircraft, or the sim, or anything like that. If you really have any questions, you can come over to the Discord and ask there. There's a lot of people that know what's going on, and including people who mod aircraft and do paint kits and paint and everything. And it's a good bunch of guys in the community we have here. And if you want to fly along, we're currently streaming Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on VATSIM. And you're welcome to come along on the flights. The information about what we're flying next and where we're flying is available on the Discord. And as you can see, we're currently flying around the capitals here in the U.S., the state capitals, such as we're doing today. So you can come along and join us in an aircraft that's sort of fits in, cruising speed of around 200 knots, and fly with us. Fly live time, live weather, and the streams always start at 1930 Zulu. We're doing a little bit of cloud surfing here. A little bit high for cloud surfing, but we're heading into a pretty overcast layer here. I wonder if this is where it said we had the rain. Yeah, we're coming into that area. There's a rain band through here that we're going to kind of cross over. But you can see we are just above it, so it won't affect us. And we're picking up the Boise VOR as well now. I think you might have heard Molly a few minutes ago. Somebody must have come by the door. So it's going to be a 289 on the heading up to Boise. So we'll switch VORs and then dial in for 289. Just going to come back, line ourselves up, go into heading mode. Switch VORs over, and we're going to want a 289. There we go. Now we can start entering in our arrival information. So the ILS for 28 right is going to be 1133, so we'll get that in. So we can switch to that when we get there. 1133 is set. Good. We can also set our minimums while we're here. So we're going to be doing the ILS. It's a straight in ILS landing. It'll be 3121 or 250 feet above the ground. So we're going to come down here and set our bug to 250. There we go. So 250 feet is now set. Watch the radial come in before we switch over to it. So we're going to go down at 60 miles. So about halfway up this leg. The leg is 118 miles. So 60 miles out from Boise, we're going to begin our descent. And our intercept altitude for the ILS is going to be 6,000 feet. Airport elevation is 2871. And we're going to be doing a right-hand exit off at the for the terminal. Now we're going to dial in the current weather so that we are set there. We'll get an update. Winds are 21, 29, 320 degrees. We're going to stick with runway 28. Broken clouds, 6,000. Broken clouds, 8,000 at 7.8 degrees Celsius. 10 miles of visibility, 6,500 foot ceiling, 3016 is the current barrel. We'll dial that in now. 3016 is set. And we'll come over to do Rogers as well. There we go. So we're set there. Closing in on the VOR, we should see the line coming in a second. We're going to turn, when that happens, we'll turn our heading over to the rough course. And then once the VOR comes back online, actually, that two should stay online. The Boise VOR, since we're not actually at it, we're at the other one, the Burley. We should see the Burley VOR start to go. Have I got that? Let's check this. The 1133 is the VOR. Yeah. 11015 is the ILS. I was wondering why that was showing up. Pick up the VOR. We're just going to tune it in that way. I'm not sure if this actually works. It'd be interesting to see if we set this side up with all the nav information of the Boise VOR switched over and then set up the ILS, but we can do it all on this side. It's not a problem. Here's the turn. And we'll let her get settled in. Heading direct to our destination airport. And we're 126 miles roughly. Offsetting to. So missed approach. When we get there, we're going to climb to 6,000 feet outbound. Boise radial 279 to Atoll and Hole. Don't have a distance? Well, actually, wouldn't be able to do that. We'd have to do it on vectors. Ground speed's up to 201 knots. And again, about 60 knots out, we're going to begin our descent. That overcast layer here. Checking fuel. Fuel is looking good. Engines burning as they usually do. No unexpected fuel burns. To go. outside air temperature's holding steady. We're going to be going through some pretty thick clouds and there's precipitation in the area, so we will put on the anti-ice as we go down. Make sure we're all good there. Expected arrival is about 30 minutes, and given our distance and our speed, about 35 minutes or so. We're going to be descending at about 150 knots. A little bit of wind over the hills here. Starting to see belt signs on. There's the edge of the mountains we're going to be flying along. We'll be coming up over top of the edge here. And it looks like Boise's in a little bit of a valley. It's kind of surrounded by higher lands. To go before we start heading down. So looking at traffic at Boise. There's a 737 coming in from Burbank. Hasn't left yet. And us. Pretty quiet. set up the CTAF frequency. Again, there doesn't seem to be a specific one, so we're going to use the tower frequency, 1181. Probably their CTAF for when the tower's unmanned. Looking good. Definitely got a little bit more cloud, a little bit more thermal activity. We can see little pop-ups here and there. That's where that rain line was. It's breaking up a little bit here, but still got a little bit of thermal activity. So weather is slightly unsettled. Snap in the weather there, and it cleared up. Once we come over these higher hills here, we'll be heading down into the valley where Boise is. And we are about 20 miles out from the top of this head. But we are going to have to watch that terrain. So I think what we're going to do is we are now going to go around this. Head this way. And come out and then go around, and we'll head back towards the airport, just because I don't want to be descending down too close to those hills there. So what I'm going to do over on this side is tune in the VOR. Just let me pick it up when we get closer. I know we're 77 miles out. We're on heading mode now. And we'll just get around this little bit of terrain here as we start downwards. at, well, 16 miles. .282 is the ILS heading. Get that dialed in. You can see we're almost heading directly to the airfield. No update to the MEDAR as of yet. Everything is still looking the same as it was a few minutes ago. And we are 10 miles roughly from top of descent. So for descent, we are going to reduce power until we get an airspeed of 150, and then we'll lock into that, and then we'll let the aircraft descend, and then we'll monitor our distance and altitude and adjust accordingly as required. So our descent preparation checklist, cabin pressure is set for landing, fuel quantities are all checked and are good. Fuel transfer and fuel tank selectors are all off. Altimeters are set to local QNH of 3016. There's that higher terrain over there. We pop forward. We can see we're going to kind of come up around the edge here, head in, avoiding this as we descend. Five miles to go. And we're going to be descending down to our 6,000 foot for our capture. So we'll dial in 6,000. Set. Alright. Start bringing the power back. Pretty much back to idle. Airspeed's coming back. There's 160. And 150. I'll select is armed, indicated airspeed is on, that's what we're going to fly, and then we'll let her set her descent rate as it stabilizes. And we're now kind of outside of the hills there, so we're going to turn again a little bit more on path. That VOR. There we go. Airspeed of about 170 right now. We're 150 indicated, and we're descending at about 600 feet per minute. So we'll watch this as we descend down. We're actually going to end up going a little bit right of the VOR track because we want to intercept the ILS and fly directly to the airport. We'll give them the ding in the back just to let them know.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move around the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
Turned it on, actually. Let's see if I get them to redo the next announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign is now turned on, so it is time to return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
I've just screwed that all up. That's good. You can stay there. Right, 50 miles out. And we got just over 8,000 feet to go. There's those hills. And we will be watching for the ILS to kick in. Probably about 20 miles out or so. This time we'll make sure the gear stays off. Unlike last time where I had to put it on to get it in the transponder panel and forgot to take it off. That was a rather abrupt landing.
We have begun our final descent into Idaho. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in a full upright position.
Look at the landing
Please
lights.
also store any carry-on
On,
items
seatbelt
either
signs
in the
are on.
back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
So as we come up to the ILS, we're going to slow to 125 knots. Actually 150 knots since we're doing the ILS. And then once established on the localizer, we'll slow to 125, 15-degree flaps. Then once established on the glide slope, we slow down to 100. And go 25 flaps. And we're going to be landing, touching down around 80, 85. So we're going to try to keep her 90 down to flare. I'm going to Just hug. We're going to be hugging the edge of this ridge, and then we'll be intercepting. It's the airport out that way. About 100 feet to go. 40 miles. A quick run through of all the panel states. So DC load is good. We're on mains and generators. That's all fine. Generators are all on. That's off. We're good there. These are wipers off. We've got our pitot heaters all going. We're good there. Battery temperatures are fine. Ignitions are all on normal. Fuel quantities are good. Auxiliary pumps are currently all off. That's fine. Engine turbine selector is off. Fuel tank transfer is off. Pressurization is fine as well. AC volts and amps are good. AC generators are on. Come down. Packs are all on. All the signs are all on. Engines are all looking good. Good for our landing. 6,000 feet to go. There's the mountain, so I wanted to avoid sending over this just in case we got a little bit close. Probably wouldn't have, but that's fine. So we're cruising up the edge here. We're going to intercept the ILS, and that'll bring us into Boise. And the engines are back and idle. We'll just let the aircraft descend at 150 knots. 32 miles out from the airport. To go. I think we're going to end up being high. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come off indicated airspeed mode. Come forward and set vertical speed. 1,000. Okay, Molly. There we go. We're going to speed up slightly, but we'll be able to drop that down if I put the engines up in max RPM. Only 28 miles out, so I want to get us down. It's 4,000 feet to go. More this way. make sure we get a good intercept on that VOR. The problem with this airplane is it does not descend cleanly very quickly if you set the speed to that type of slow speed. There's faster speeds you can do. But then you're eating up more space. 1,600 feet to go, 23 miles out, that's not bad. Let's look at the ILS. We're okay. Go. Well, that's just kicked in. Localizer is alive. That's the airport off in the distance there. 1,700 feet to go. And we're going to reduce the speed down to 150 knots. Intercept the localizer at 150 with the flaps up. Feet. Feet. We're not looking too bad. Just waiting on the localizer movement. Got a decent intercept angle coming in. There's the airport over there. 6,400 feet. Engines are still in idle, so we should start slowing down as soon as we level. Glide slope is showing. Starting to level off. Speed is going to start to reduce. Altitude capture. Speed's coming down. Come up slightly, keep that 150. There's a FedEx around here somewhere. Delta Airlines leaving. In a second. 13 miles out from the airport. Glide slope is starting to move. capture here. Switch over to frequency. Boise area traffic, Allegheny 32 is 12 miles out, inbound ILS 28 right, Boise. That slope's almost there, so we're gonna arm approach mode. There's the turn. Props are going full forward. Watching that speed. Slowly turning for the intercept. There's glide slope. Power back. Flaps 15. Eight miles. Gear down. FedEx coming in. Oh, he's going to Denver. No issues there. Speed down to 130, flaps 5. Localizer's alive. Speed 120. Slowing down to 100. And there's the airport coming into sight. Boise area traffic, Allegheny 32, 6.5 miles out, ILS runway 28 right, Boise. There's two runways here. We're taking the right-hand one. There's 100 knots. There's that speed. Wallow. Flaps full. All right, flaps are full. Position levers to maximum. Gear down, 3 green. Auto feather armed. Cabin is notified. Landing lights are on. I'm tired of the wallowing around, so I am taking control. So it's lined up here. Winds should be fairly down the runway. We're going to do touchdown at 90. High. Doing the visual now. Referencing the ILS. Keep that speed just around 100 until we're a little bit closer. Wind a little bit. Slightly low. Boise area traffic, Allegheny 32, 2 miles, short final, 2.8 right, Boise. Speed's down to 195. Terminal is on the north side, I believe. It is. Alright, 2 rights, 2 whites. We got a long runway here, 10,000 feet as well, so we're good there. Firm brakes are off. Speed back to 90 now. Two whites, 2 reds. Power. Slight wind out of the right. We're a little bit low. Power up. Flatten that descent line. There we go, coming back on, 2 whites, 2 reds. We won't need reversers here. We've got plenty of distance. 90 knots. Wind's almost quartering. Don't float. Oh, we're floating. So it's down. Nose is down. It's the gate closed. Wing down into the wind. We're going to get off here at Delta. Again, reverse not required.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Idaho. The local time is 3:53 p.m. and it's currently about 46 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bin, as items may have shifted during the flight. We thank you for flying with us and we hope to see you again soon.
Boise area traffic, Allegheny 32, clear runway 32 or 28 right at Delta, taxiing to gate Bravo 21 Alpha. All right, let's get everything done here. So flaps are coming up. Oops. Control locks are engaged. Condition levers are coming back to low. And 2 and 3 will go to feather. Engines are right back. Anti-collision light is to red. Landing lights are off. Taxi light is on. Strobe lights are off. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Windshield heat is off. Pedostatics are all coming off. Yaw damper is on off, and transponder will leave on until we get to gate. And there's the gate we're headed to. Kind of over this way. Oh, switch taxi mode. punters will have to walk in. That is fine. Keep the gear on the line. And there we go. We're here, so brakes on. Taxi light will come off. Power levers will go to flight idle. Condition levers will come into feather. Weather radar is off. DMEs will come off. Transponder will come off. Steering is fine. Engines are all stabilized. Shut them down. Light will come off. Anti-collision light will come off. Passenger signs, emergency exit lights are off. Generators, AC are off. Engine bleeds are off. Left and right batteries are off. DC power is going to come on. Come on. Come back to the back door. And we can let everybody off. And there we go. We have made it to Boise, Idaho. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed the flight. It's great to see some of the countryside out here in the Midwest of the U.S. We'll be back on Friday. We're going to be flying from here off to our next destination on this tour of the U.S. state capitals in the lower 48. Take care, everybody. See you on the next one. Bye for now.